G'day folks, Tony again here for more of the jaunty saunterings of Gaunt Bort the Taunter. Here we are again folks in Shirkovish of the Tatum Ghetto level 4. We just had a chat with that Watervine farmer and we're going to keep poking around because we've been finding some kind of cool things in this dungeon. We took down a boss slug snout a little bit earlier in the previous episode, and now we have ourselves a little bit of an expedition just to check the rest of this dungeon floor before we head off, probably to the Rusted Archway. Unless anything else interrupts us while we're on the way there. And by interrupted, of course, I mean in a good way, not in a now you're dead way. We were initially, you may recall, heading to Kyakukya to attempt to buy and sell some things from the merchant there. And then we got lost along the way. We ended up finding a Dromad caravan, which unlost us. We also managed to get a whole bunch of things sold to it, so we didn't need to continue going to find a new merchant. But if we continue finding all of these groovy things that we're finding here, some of them clearly we want to be able to use, but we may end up with a bunch of things that are going to warrant going to find another merchant. Now, there's already going to be a merchant at the Grit Gate, if and when we eventually make our way to it. But, you know, any... goodness, that was quick. Any merchant will do. And of course, I assume they're all going to have different batches of items available. So going to more than one of them may result... Oh, we're still bleeding. There we go. Going to more than one of them may result in finding even better gear if we do have enough money to pay for all of it. What else have we got up this way? A room full of trash, which for an Arcanaut might result in something, but of course does not. Not getting stuck in that sap, which is nice. I think that honey skunk probably had a scuffle there with something. I think I remember seeing a few little blips and blabs going on the map over there. All right, what have we got over here? We've got some pricklers and a dead end. Got some more boars by the looks of it. Sure. Dear me. Come on now. No, don't be stuck. Don't want to be stuck in the sap. All right. Now, ever mindful of the presence of those young ivories that we saw earlier, let's try not to get too rushed. I'm hoping that we don't end up just checking to see if any of this is freshwater. It doesn't look like it. I'm assuming that we're still in reasonably safe territory when it comes to potential lurking Beths, which are mighty nasty. And for a character with this lower hit point pool, that would be a very drastically quick death. Brackish water. Does that mean there may be some fresh water around here eventually? One can only hope. Although typically it will have the lighter white sprite more regularly. Big broad rooms here. A baboon, are you kidding me? This far underground? What are you doing? Are you lost? Guess it's kind of moot at this point. Okay. With all of our mighty 25 hit points, Boy, we've got to take the long way back around again, but that's okay. Or is it? Yes. Ah, that's right. Momentarily disoriented because I'm thinking excitedly ahead to what I'm planning on doing next. That honey skunk, are you coming to attack me? You are not. But you might still end up dropping a giant pile of toxic gas everywhere. Are you in fact going to do that? Not yet. Oh boy, it didn't end well for you. That was not how I expected it to go. Take that cracked lens. Or I guess, whoa, what? What was that? That was strange. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Did the pricklers attack each other? That doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? That's what looked like happened, but... And there's another boar in here. What is that boar up to? Not coming to attack us. Are you preoccupied by something else? Well, you were, but not for much longer. These glow pads either have really high armor, or they're well, they've got a really good batch of hit points on them. I guess I could try dominating one to see, but considering that they can't move around, I'm not really sure what the point would be. Oh, look at this! Right here at the end, we've found ourselves a chest, a failed energy relay, which we will. Deconstruct a wooden buckler, which we don't need because it's not that great. So there's no stairways down here. We're going to make our way to the stairways up. And that prickler has set off... oops. That prickler had set off the auto-explore and made it stop. Back we go, up, up, up. And further still, or not, pricklers everywhere. It's part of the reason for trying to keep things clear as you go, I guess. It can make it easier to get back out again. And I think that's all the way. It is indeed all the way. All right. So just check and see. I think we might have uncovered another location to go to. That's the Dromad caravans. That's not what I was thinking of. Where was the other one? Oh, it's way off to the northeast. We're not going to worry about that at all. So as a quick reminder, here is the Rusted Archway off to the northeast. And then a little bit beyond it is the Grit Gate, which is where we're heading to meet Barathrum. Let's make our way here and see if we're going to end up getting mauled by chain turrets again. Come on, let's take down these boar. These unusually tough boar. And we're hungry, so of course we're going to make our camp so that we don't have to worry about that. We get +4 quickness from eating that meal. That's handy. So those buffs are able to be more targeted. Oh, I can't resist opening this door in the middle of nowhere. These buffs, of course, that you get from cooking can be more targeted if you make specific recipes, but I haven't done an awful lot on the recipe front. Two-headed boar coming in for a bit of a tussle here. Little tougher, but still very manageable. Right. Still not getting a ton of experience here at the moment. These things are all just a little bit on the easy side for me. Assuming that hermit is going to leave us be. That does appear to be the case. But here at the Rusted Archway, there's also some cool stuff just sort of lying around on the ground. We're going to go and try and loot as much of that as we can. There's probably also going to be a room that may be enclosed. We might have to dig through a wall to get to it. Oh no! think it's time to start doing some deconstructing of this scrap. And this is super compelling to look at. So let me get through this. All right, that should free up a little bit for us, and it does indeed. It's probably going to add back to the problem, but we can solve that again later. Some stairways down. It is nighttime. I'm very grateful for that glow sphere, which is doing an awful lot of glowing at a much larger range than a normal torch would. Which is nifty, considering that at night time it would be good to be able to see turrets from as far away as possible. I'm still somewhat apprehensive, considering how many times I've ended up being killed in this rusted archway. All right, here we have ourselves a security door, a red security door. A sliding metal plate impressed with the mould of a keycard. We don't currently have a keycard, and these walls are also fullcrete, which means they're going to be pretty tough. I don't know how quickly we'd be able to mow our way through them. Now, one of the mutations that you can have is burrowing claws, which makes it a lot easier to dig through these sorts of things. But we don't have that. And it hasn't spun up on any of our mutations. What is happening over here? Two hermits having a tussle with something, I assume. Is there a honey skunk there? Are you fighting each other? They appear to be fighting each other. That seems odd. There is a honey skunk there. It looked like a yellow keycard door there. Let's just leave them to it, shall we? Whatever dramas they're having. So a bunch of different coloured doors here. Can't unlock that one. Some of them will be freestanding because this is, after all, a ruin. Haven't seen any turrets yet. So yeah, some of them freestanding because this is a ruin, and then others looking like they might be sealing things in. Ooh, nice. Some shotgun shells. That'll be handy for our shotgun. Some canned have-it-all, which is nice food, and another missile launcher, which is going to make us crazily overburdened. But if we've got two of them, then I think it might be a good idea to deconstruct one of them. What have we got here? Oh, one of them's scoped and one of them isn't. So we're going to keep the scoped one because scoped is better, am I right? Let's disassemble that. B and 4, we just got a pristine electronics. That's nice. And it's probably best to get rid of all these things. Talk about compelling YouTube. I wonder if there's a way to do just all of this. I mean, that would make sense, but also not be a great idea depending on how it's being used or misused. Now, that blue chest has made me suspicious. I'm worried that there's going to be something around here that could potentially shoot at us. So, just going to pop this while I go through and loot all of these trash piles. Got a couple of things out of it. All right, so there wasn't anything there, which is fortunate, but with a chest that has a rocket launcher in it, I'm kind of surprised that there doesn't seem to be anything that was protecting it. There's very effective yellow keycard doors. So there's a red keycard door over here that that we might try and see if we can bash our way in here. So I'm using a force attack to the south, which is going to be burning through a stupid number of turns to see if I can actually punch a hole in this. And it appears that I can, but it is taking a fair while. All right, now that it's done, what did that get us? I don't know what's going to be in there, so I'm going to drop a force bubble just in case. And it is an absolute dud. But it was best to be sure. That means that our force bubble is now on a crazy cooldown. So I wonder if we might do a little bit of moving around. We might do a wait here, actually. Let's try waiting for 50 turns. Okay, that hermit was attacking something. 14 round cooldown. Alright, so our force bubble is back and we head down into the dungeon just in case we need it. Because that force bubble is one of the main ways that Gaunt Bort is even vaguely able to survive, blocking himself from range attack. A lot of boars down here. Some normal boars, some two-headed boars. And all of them giving us pretty much no experience points, but this is all about the loot really at this point. Steel arrows would be lovely. And another desert rifle. So I believe that means that we have 2 desert rifles now. Let's have a look. Because if we do, there's one of them. And there's the other. So we're going to disassemble this one. Because we can. We've got all of it. We've got scrap electronics, we've got scrap metal, and we've got a flawless crystal. We now have 4 flawless crystals. Try saying that quickly 4 times. We're definitely going to want to get ourselves this tinkering. Given the amount of things that we're finding, I think it would be a shame not to. But that's 19 intelligence, and we're still a ways off of that. And we also have this horrible toughness penalty still being applied to us. Toughness needs to get to 16 before it'll be at a 0 modifier. Just a big old bunch of choices. I'd like to be able to get all of them, and I can't. Which is, of course, one of the hallmarks of nifty game design. When you have more than one thing that you would love to be able to use at any given point in time. More two-headed boars. This is one of those areas where all of the grass makes it feel like it's above ground, even though I know that it isn't. And this is aided by the fact that our glow sphere really does make it way brighter and more day-like than usual. Lots of cool tinkery stuff here to find and pick up and use. Just trying to keep all of these walls clear here so that if we need to get out automagically, we're going to be able to do it with relative quickness and ease. Little dinky corners, lots of dinky corners. All right, perhaps up here, here's our stairs downwards. I don't know how far down this will go. I imagine that we're at a section of the game now where it could go down and down and down and down and down for quite a long while. And of course, the further down you go, the nastier things become, and the more likely we'll be to start running into things that we simply won't be able to handle. Particularly at our current level. which is not that great. Bronze battle axe. I was hoping for something nicer. All of that corrosion coming out there. I guess those hermits having a battle with the honey skunk there. And I don't know what they've got against each other, and I don't know who started it. But I'm going to keep out of it. Not really any of my business. Does the battle continue? Perhaps. So lots of keycard doors here. We haven't found any keycards yet. None of these appear to be blocking a room in entirely. No, they aren't. So we're not going to worry about them. We're just going to head down the stairs. So we're now at level 2 of the rusted archway compound. More pigs. Just boars everywhere. Giant centipede. Alright, come on over. Two-headed boar here as well. We can do this. Oh boy. Many, many critters pouring out of the woodwork. Goodness me, look at that. They're everywhere. Okay, now that's gotten to the point where I think we're going to have to drop a boost toughness. Just running a little low for my taste. Is that all of them? I'm pretty sure that all the things just came out at us there. Alright. Getting some more bits and pieces. Here's a chest. What could be in it? Leather boots, we don't need. Ring mail, we don't need. A carbide short sword, that sounds pretty sweet to me. We'll disassemble those capacitors. Let's just have a look at that carbide short sword. Do we have more than one of them? We don't. 4 penetration 1d6 versus 4 penetration 1d8. No, we're going to keep that folded carbide dagger right where it is. Moving out of the way of that honey skunk and all of their crazy gas. Time to make a camp. Cook ourselves a meal. And keep exploring level 2 of this rusted archway dungeon. So what I'm really waiting to see is a change of... We go this way? Is it just going to be a dead end? The way is blocked by shale. Very well. Keeping eyes peeled for a potential change in the types of critters that we're seeing. At the moment, it's just more boars and more honey skunks. Occasionally getting something like this two-headed boar. But nothing drastically different yet. There's a green security door. So we'll just take these down so they're not roaming around. Very effective door there again. So got ourselves a yellow one up here. No way, no need to go through it. There's a hermit just hanging about, chilling out down here underground. Red door. Right next to a normal door. And a room full of creepy crawlies. Pretty sure those boars should really be eating centipedes. I don't see that there's any great need for them to be picking on me, but hey. So we've seen a lot of hermits. We haven't seen any cannibals yet. You can sometimes end up seeing in these underground regions. Are you coming after me or are you going somewhere else? Going somewhere else, very well. And here are our stairs downwards. And a big batch of stuff lying on the floor. We're going to go and pick all of those Whoops. We are going to pick all of them up, but we're going to have to do this again. Oh goodness, I've gone past them, haven't I? Or have I? I have. Too many things. Oh, here they are. The bloody prefixes were what was throwing me off there. Goodness me, we're getting a lot of things here. A stronger character would probably not have to worry about doing all of this disassembling as often, but we are not quite that strong. Goodness, look at all this stuff. I could complain, but I'm not going to. We've got lots of goodies that we're finding here. Whew. What else have we got? Just a bent metal sheet. One more for the road while we're here. Okie dokie. Still can't do anything with any of it, of course, because we don't have tinkering yet. Ahead of you, you see all the colours of the doors. Whoa. Somebody was shooting a gun, but not at me, so I don't care. All right, now this is possibly worth having a dig through to see if we can find anything groovy down in here. What we might actually do is go around this side to do said digging, but first we'll just check up here and see what else is around. Prickler. And a pig. And the prickler was killing the pig. How about that? Alright. So we might go down this way to do our digging through into the room. Just so that we've got the ability to get a bit of distance away from things without potentially getting stuck in a tiny little corridor. The turns sauntered count at the end of this episode is going to be remarkable, considering how many walls we've tried bashing down here. All right, was that worth our time? Of course it wasn't, but better safe than sorry. So many idioms to choose from, and I'm pretty sure that I keep picking the same ones. Might be time to start using our rifle a little bit here. I don't want to hit that honey skunk, so I'm glad I'm shooting in the other direction. And again, it looks like we're going to have ourselves an outpouring of different types of critter, all coming in to take us down at once. We'll keep our eye on that honey skunk in case it goes green and it looks like it's about to drop all of its acid everywhere. It's a big old scrap. Everyone just coming in to have a bash here. Let's see, where are you going, Hermit? Moving around the other side, or are you running away? Possibly running away. A little bit too hurt for my taste there. Possibly not the greatest use of boost toughness, but I'd rather use it than end up regretting it. After all of the drama and hard work to get this third Gaunt Bort off the ground and up and running, it would be a mighty shame to have them killed by something as careless as not using an ability that is clearly usable. What else have we got around here? Not a lot so far. Some more boars to take down. If only you knew, dear viewer, how much I'm resisting the obvious pun when I'm just killing lots and lots of boars over and over, and all the fights are kind of the same, and I'm not getting a ton of XP. There's such an obvious dad joke to be made there, and I'm mighty pleased with myself for not making it. So pleased, in fact, that I've pointed it out to you. All right, we found the stairs down. So we do want to have a bit more of a poke over this way. And we're hungry again. We're just going to move off to the side here. We're going to heal ourselves up because I just noticed the time on the recording clock. It's time to make ourselves a camp and whip up a meal. Whoa, look out. What is going on? You are being watched. It's a familiar feeling when someone has watched you in the past. When it's light that's betrayed your presence. You made a friend of the darkness. You pulled your hat brim low over your eyes. You stepped behind the cover of a thatched wall. But those who watch you now watch in spite of such simple obstructions. Their sight isn't mediated by the rays of a gleaming star or torch, but by something much older. If there are ways to conceal yourself from these seeing eyes, if there are new kinds of darknesses to befriend, you know nothing of them. You eat the meal, it's tastier than usual, and now we know why we got that message. I get +1 ego for the rest of the day, so I've clearly tipped over some sort of threshold. 22 ego giving a +3, and we now have, over in the mutations, Psychic Glimmer. Your Psychic Glimmer represents how noticeable you are in the vast psychic ether. As your mental mutations increase in level, so does your Psychic Glimmer and the frequency, strength, and number of those who desire to absorb your mind. Currently, you are being watched and pursued by ospreys, Pato's servants, and birds of psychic prey who pluck larval espers from their egg sacs. I'm pretty sure Pato is supposed to have a silent P, so let's pretend that I just said toe. Anyway, I think that seems like a perfectly fitting point to leave this part of the Let's Play. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Subscribe to the channel, and please, please, please let a friend know if you think they might enjoy this. And come back again soon for more of the jaunty saunterings of Gaunt Bort the Taunter.